ago, if someone told me that I would lose birds, I would spend money that I would lose birds overnight and still say that chicken farming changed my life, I wouldn't believe. But today, it is true. My name is Esther, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 years of real experience, the wins, the pain losses, the money numbers, and the lessons that nobody told me before I started. Whether you are thinking of starting your first flock or you already have hundreds of birds, there is something in this video for you. And I promise you, I'm not going to tell you the easy things, I'm going to tell you the truth. Before I started farming, I thought chickens were simple. You buy chicks, you feed them, you sell them, you make money. Haha. If only it was that simple. My first batch, I bought 50 chicks. I was so excited. I told my family, I told my friends, I am a farmer now. By week 3, I had lost 23 of them. Not because I was lazy, not because I did not care, but because I did not know what I was doing, and no one warned me about what was coming. 3 years later, those painful lessons became my greatest teacher. Today my farm is still small, but it is smart. And everything I know I learned by making every mistake possible. So sit with me for the next few minutes because I do not want you to make the same mistakes I made. Year 1 was my school, and school was expensive. The first mistake I made, I did not understand brooding. Those 23 chickens I lost, they died from cold. The brooder was not warm enough. I did not know that a day-old chick cannot regulate its own temperature. One cold night and they were all gone. That loss cost me over 3,500 Kenyan shillings. That is roughly $25 in 1 week. The second mistake, I bought the wrong breed for my setup. I bought exotic birds without understanding that they needed expensive feeds and controlled conditions. I had no shade, no proper filtration. Do you know what happens when chickens are too hot and too stressed? They stop eating, they stop growing, they get sick. Breed selection is not a small decision, it is your foundation. For those of you in Kenya and East Africa, I learned that Kienyeji and Broiler breeds are far more forgiving for beginners. They are hardy, they adapt to our local climate, and they do not need perfect conditions to survive. But here is the lesson that that year 1 gave me that I will never forget. The birds die, the knowledge stays. Every loss taught me something. And if you are watching this as a beginner, please do not let fear or failure to stop you. I want to pause here and say, if this video is already giving you value, please subscribe and click the notification bell, because in the next section I'm going to break down the real numbers, exactly how much I spent, exactly how much I made, and the turning point of the year 2 that changed everything. You do not want to miss that. By year 2, I had made a decision. I said, Esther, you are going to treat this like a business, not a hobby. The first thing I did, I started a record book, simple, just a notebook. Everybody purchased every bag of feed, every medicine, every death, every sale. Do you know what happened when I started writing everything down? I discovered I had been spending around 6,000 Kenyan shillings. That is equivalent to $43 every month, more than I thought. Money I could not explain. Money that was leaking out of my farm quietly. Every single day. Every single week. Record keeping is not exciting, but it is the difference between a farmer who grows and a farmer who stays stuck. For the big farmers watching this, if you are managing 500, 1,000 or more birds, and you are not tracking every input and output in detail, your frying bride. The numbers do not lie. The second thing I shared in year 2 was my vaccination schedule. I cannot tell you how much money I lost in year 1 from preventable disease, Newcastle, Gubolo, CLD, and to follow a strict vaccination calendar, even when the birds looked healthy, especially when the birds looked healthy. So prevention is 200 shillings per dose. Treatment, if you are lucky, is 2,000, and sometimes there is no recovery at all. So I want to ask you something right now. If you are farming today, do you have a vaccination schedule, or are you waiting until to see a bird sick to call a vet? Comment below and tell me yes, I have a schedule, or no, I need help with this. I want to know, because I have a whole video on vaccination that I would share if you need. This is where things started to feel different. Not because I had suddenly become a big farmer, but because I had become a smarter farmer. By year 3, I understood my farm's numbers deeply. A batch of 100 broilers bird from day 1 to lady market. So chick cost 100 per bird, that is 10,000 shillings, around $70. Feed for 8 weeks, approximately 18,000, that is $128. Medicine and vaccination, that is 3,000, approximately $21. Labor and miscellaneous, 2,000, that is $14. Total cost approximately 33,000 Kenyan shillings, and that is around $235. With a 5% mortality, I sell 95 birds at 600 each. Revenue, that is 57,000 Kenyan shillings, and it is approximately $171 per batch. Now 24,000 Kenyan shillings per batch may not sound like much to a big farmer, but to someone who started with 50 birds and lost half of them, that number felt like something. The other thing year 3 taught me, and this one surprised me, is farm security. I lost birds to theft twice in year 2. Do you know how it feels to wake up and find your coop has been entered at night? I invested in simple security, better lighting, a strong lock system, and awareness of who has access to my farm. Not expensive, but necessary. For any farmer, big or small, your flock is your income. Protect it like one. Thank you so much for watching. Let us meet in the next one.